JJ's Productions. Let's start this thing.
Hello there! Are we going to have a bit of music overlap here? We are. I really need to fix that. Alright, so... Yep, we got Grand Arena time. We're starting early. And to be honest, our opponent has started early on Tannen, so... Seems kind of fitting. Hello, Snappy. We've got Osprey and I've seen Ada as well. Hello to you all. Okay. Let's see what we got. So we're up against our Peach this round. I don't know why, right? This guy takes me back to like high school history. It's just this most useless bit of knowledge I remember from like GCSE history that Robert Peel repealed the Corn Laws. It was just like one of these sort of mnemonic. Well, it's not even a mnemonic. It's like a line that's got a rhyme in it that just helps you remember something, and for some reason that has always stuck in my head. I've got no idea what our Peach does, but there is certainly a rhyme in it, I'm sure. Our Peach leached the something. Alright. That's interesting. Inappropriate name. I feel like that's okay for our imagination. Alright, our Peach. So, GP, 12.4 on our side, 13.2 on theirs. Zetas, 324 to 376. We're ahead on Omicrons in GA, 48 to 42. Can we... Oh, I've just remembered, Desert Reapers. I've said before, I've got like a familial connection to them as far as my guild have got some members in it that are from here, or at least historically are. I don't know any of their members, but yeah, just kind of interesting whenever I see it. Yeah, anyway, did they say the TW focused? Wrote Naboo Raid Max. Okay. well, I'm going to say, always nice to mix things up, I guess. Alright, so to got all the GLs. We're missing Lord Vader and Ahsoka. Relics, 254 to 264. Only 10 behind, that's nice. This bit's less nice. 18 more Relic 9s than me, 12 to 30. 14 to 47 on the Relic 8s. Ugh. 94 to 68 on the 7s, and 85 to 81 on the 5s. So we're a little bit okay there, but when you think that all those in the 5s and the 7s are in the 8s and the 9s, yeah. Battle Fridays, morning. Yeah, we're afternoon technically here, but I always feel like it's still morning at this time of day. I don't know why afternoon doesn't exist in my brain. I go from morning to evening. But yeah, the weekend started well. I've just been watching Doctor Who. So I've just come from that and I'm feeling... you know that kind of buzz you get when you watch something a bit like After Andor, say, or you've just seen something that you're really into? It's like, yeah, I've got that little bit of buzz. So, good time to start streaming. Let's see, carry on. We got mods. We're ahead on the 25s, 104 to 58, 20s behind. Okay, 310 to 321. We're always behind on the 15s for some reason. 473 to 693, fair dues. They got way more Datacron rerolls than me. I scrolled a bit too quick there. All health on C, offense health on Ray. Alright, this is looking like he knows what he's doing. We've had a few of like that. But like a better way of putting it, seemed a bit more sus. I mean, I'm not sure I buy that. Offense and crit chance on Wampa. But yeah, I think the majority of things he's doing alright. Oh, I haven't seen Jocasta on the list before. That's good to know. So they've rallied up the Jocasta. We might see that. Maybe they use it on offense. Oh, a little bad I've got my Omega Fugitive to Gear 12 as well, so it's something. I'm glad they put CX2 in there because I completely forgotten that the little swine exists. So yeah, we may have to deal with Lord Vader clones. Yay! Let's just rally through the rest. Zaalbar army, they've got... I swear there's an update on the website the last day or two. Yeah, and all those characters make sense being fast, so maybe Grand Inquisitor's a bit of an odd one, but I can buy into it. Alright. Who was my favourite Doctor? Ooh, you're asking that a tough one there. You know what? That is tricky because I feel like if I was to say 10, it'd be cliche because there's probably bits of 10 that I've aged a little bit bad now. But I feel like 10's the one I grew up with, even though I feel like if you can... I'm saying that, and then I was just about to contradict myself, which is why I'm going to say 9. I feel like even though we had a shorter span, 9 was the better Doctor. You know, I feel like those Doctor moments he had were brilliant. And I'm saying this, and then I just think of like Capaldi doing Heaven Sent, and I'm like, how can you not rank 12 high? Oh, I hate these questions. I think I'll stick with 9. But yeah, I think it'd have to be something like 9, 10. But how can you rank Matt Smith low as well? Oh. And for the record, I'm kind of going in a kind of modern era because I just haven't seen old Who. I've seen like an old episode here or there, but I haven't watched them all or anything ridiculous. So yeah, let me just catch up on what's going on. I don't know if the last couple of episodes of Andor gave me a buzz. I feel like the last 3 were definitely top quality. You know, I feel like if the very last episode in that arc didn't get you excited, or at least get you cheering for what was going on in terms of that thing in the episode, I'm surprised. And the episode before, obviously, that was just fantastic. Jocasta's not been much of a problem in 3v3 at least. It doesn't seem like she's going to be very meta, is it, until Mace comes out, so that's something. I think there was a concern she might be more viable, but it doesn't seem like she is. A stupid ape of culture. I will accept stupid ape. I'm going to say I've certainly got the air for it at times. But yeah, I will admit I don't really know where I'd rank them. I feel like they've all got such good pros that it feels hard to knock them down. I mean, the only thing I can say sadly is that Jodie wouldn't be on the list, and I really wanted to like Jodie, and there was just nothing that really ever made her feel wow. You know what I mean? So I feel so sorry for her because I believe she came in with such a good reputation that it's a shame that everything she got wasn't actually there. But yeah, a bit of a shame. And I'm not even counting 14. 14's like 10 reborn. 4 people in your bracket have CX2 at Ralix. Only 2 of them have in your K1 bracket. That seems fair, doesn't it, T-Max? What I'll say about episode 8, I did expect them to go as far as they did, but it was still a very brutal watch. I'm in Kaiba 2, true, yeah, I'm in Kaiba 2. Use Love Vader Bane to... Oh, I've never heard of that combo. Okay. I mean, I've got Love Vader on this account, but I might be able to keep that in mind for the free-to-play. Hopefully we don't have to cross that bridge. Alright, so this is what... You've had enough time to see it on screen. This is what we're expecting. So, let's go here. Yeah, if we see Love Vader in the clones, I will probably do the Amalcos on them, because if anything, that's probably the best thing I've got left. Ooh, okay. Got me excited. Let's see what's going on. So, nothing on Finn, nothing on Bam, nothing on CLS, nothing on GG, and nothing on Enoch. He's not a hard counter from what I've seen, but he is a strong enough counter. You know, he's probably the one that's not a GL that's got a chance. I'll have to see if we can spare one. I say that, you've seen my Datacrons, we're in a bit of a funny spot right now. All ones on here, so Dash, Queenie, Rex, DTMG, Ray, all one shots. Yeah, they couldn't get through Slacker, but they took down Tuscans, Caloran, Gas, and JMKM1. I will come back to that, by the way, Battle Fries. Let's just see here, all one shots here as well. So he just couldn't take down not Ray, Slacker. So if we can bridge that gap, we win. Nice and simple. So we've got to play as smart as we can. Let's just read through all this. So it was first modern era. It's a shame that Eccleston wasn't treated well enough to return for another season series. He had a lot of really great moments. He tend to actually not like 10 as he came off as a jerk a lot of the time. Yeah, can definitely understand what you're talking about there. I think, oh yeah, and I will agree on everyone lives as far as Eccleston. I know what you mean about 10. I think that's why when I said him, I did pause and rethink, because the thing is, right, I love David Tennant. So no matter what he's in, I'll always give whatever it is a shot. It's like he's on this show on ITV right now, Genius Game. He's not acting, he's just like doing a hosting kind of deal. And even that, I'm like, sure, let's give it a go. If he's signed up for it, let's see. And for that reason, I feel like it's hard for me to knock him down the rankings. But I know what you mean. It's like, even when I'm saying them out loud, I'm thinking Capaldi had much better moments, arguably. And Smith did. So yeah, I feel like I was probably too high on 10 to start, but it's definitely where I start because, like I say, it was the entry point for me. Snappy, it's so different in K3 versus K2. I dropped this time and like no DCs mid-teams like major difference. I mean, if you've... Yeah, so you're in K3 now, just making sure I read that right. So, yeah, honestly, I bet you're walking it by comparison. It is absolutely ridiculous, the gap at times. I must admit, I've enjoyed double drops, and even triple drops the day we had them I enjoyed. I managed to get my Bo-Katan farm done in that time. So, you know, before I started, I got let me get this right. I got IG-12 at Relic 2 or 3, and Paz was Relic 1. By the time they were over, I got them both to Relic 7. So that was just fantastic for me. Yeah, a complete. I think what you could also argue is, especially with like Tenet was 2006, 2007, at least like some of those bits you've mentioned. I feel like you can definitely say times have changed since then. Like, I think if you were to say both to him, to Russell T Davies, to all that sort of group, would you do the same thing again with Martha Jones? I think they'd rethink it. So it's one of those where I feel like I don't want Mark 10 down too harshly. Something that potentially you would, if you look at the first Doctor, even though again I haven't watched that much of the era, he said a lot of things that definitely wouldn't pass water now. So it's like I have a certain level of tolerance there, even though we've become more understanding by 2006-7. I still think it's like, okay, I think there's that level where it's like, okay, we're still learning, you know what I mean? So I can kind of understand why people would overlook it a little bit. And yeah, for what it's worth, Kilgrave and Jessica Jones, I absolutely loved him in that. There was something, the first thing I saw him in was an ITV drama. And I hope I'm saying the name right, Secret Smile. And he was essentially playing the stalker. And my God, he was absolutely terrifying in it, because essentially what you'd know him for his good roles in terms of like he's charming and charismatic, he was able to bring that into this very sinister character. And when I watched Jessica Jones, that was like that, but up to 11. So it's why I like him as an actor. I think he can do the goody two-shoe roles really nice, but when he has to do the baddies, he can play it. You like the Fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, was the one I watched when I lived in England as a youngster. Yeah, and I haven't seen much of Tom Baker's era, but the few I've seen, I did see Genesis of the Daleks, and I can understand why people like him. If anything, it's hard not to like him when you just see the clips, you know, just his big smile, jelly babies. You can't not like that Doctor, can you? I mean, when I'm sort of ranking like the whole lot, I probably don't put him as high as I should, purely because I haven't seen a lot of him. But if you said to me, like, you get a chance to meet the Doctor, I would never be upset if it was Tom Baker. I mean, I wouldn't be upset at any of them, to be honest. I'm not that snooty. But you get my point. You know, he'd be high up my list still. Just catching up. Top of K2 is honestly as hard, if not harder than K1 matchups. Huge accounts with all the stuff in Datacrons. Bottom of K2 will be missing Datacrons and Summit team, so easier wins. Yeah, I mean, I also think that top of K2, bottom of K1 is very much in flux, because there are people who can't compete in K1 versus people who can't stay in K2. So it's how it is, isn't it? Yeah, I've got to agree with Martha there as well. That was... You see, the Mickey thing as well also has the added awkwardness with what happened with the actor. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but yeah, when you think about he did things, it's like, okay, maybe that isn't the happy ending we thought we were giving you. And I agree, it was definitely a bit of that. At least when you think on hindsight. I'm disappointed they didn't give Tom Alice the happy ending. You know, that would have been the more fitting one, especially after, what was it, Last of the Time Lords? Yeah, that would have been a nice one. Yeah, exactly. I think Kilgrave really should be up there as one of the top villains in comic book television, or even multimedia. You know, I think how they portrayed it, for me, was fantastic. You know, like, people always go on about Daredevil Season 1 as being peak Marvel TV, but I think Jessica Jones is up there as well. Alright, yeah, I'm happy to get on to Swoggo. I must admit, though, I do get very drawn in with Doctor Who when the opportunity arises. So let's just check that we got everything that we're expecting. So we weren't expecting GG for a kickoff, so that's changed a little bit. Rey's here, Ahsoka's here, still no Ezra, so yeah. No Enoch. Okay, so Finn's here, that's something. So take Enoch and CLS out, and we put in Grievous and French. Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Palpatine is definitely... I think if you were to say who's the best villain in cinema, you would have a fair argument for him, for the simple thing that he's almost the personification of evil. So, yeah, I wouldn't argue with anyone if they came to me with that. You know, I think that's a completely valid argument. Is it bad that I kind of want to pretend that didn't happen? Like, I'm not one of these people who pretends the sequels aren't canon or anything ridiculous. But, yeah, I kind of want to have, like, Palpatine as episodes 1 to 6, and then have this little thing in episode 9 as, like, its own separate thing in my head. Because, you know, that first block, he was peak cinema, and then I'm cool in the second one, Disney got scared. And it's a shame, but what'd you do? Alright, I'm thinking the back wall could be the same, or close to it. I don't know what we do with the better Ahsoka, because without Ezra there, it feels like it is a little bit easier. Like, can we do something with Seek? Just for argument's sake, the Ahsoka lineup is Ahsoka, Jensen, and Sabine. So the fracture could be awkward. Bo-Katan's not available yet. We only unlocked her on Thursday. This is what I was wondering. Could C do something against Ahsoka without Bane, so that Bane can try and do Leia? So you're thinking C set what can do Ahsoka? Okay, because if that's the case, that's good. Because I really do need Leia on Rey. I don't trust the Malakos to take that out. Darth Revan, I think, is safe against the Great Mothers. And I feel like Aphra is safe against Jabba. I will agree on that. His death did fit, like, symmetrically. You know, one of the biggest things I feel like anyone loves about Star Wars is the symmetry. So I think it was fitting that if he was going to die, he was going to die by lightning. And they did actually definitively kill him, so not like they can bring him back a third time and go, surprise, I'm back again. Like, no, we saw you blow up now. Where I don't know enough about Ahsoka's kit or that team, is there any ability blocks or anything that could prevent Armorer getting Beskar on? I think it's an interesting thing with the Force Lightning. I mean, again, I'm on record. I loved, like, the prequels in terms of, like, I know it was controversial at the time, but I grew up with Yoda drawing a lightsaber and bouncing all around the place, and that was one of the funniest things I ever saw as a child. So I cannot shoot that down. I'm sorry if anyone disagrees, but for me, that was just so... It lit me up in the cinema. So if we're just going to Palpatine for a second with the lightning, I can kind of buy into the fact that they were expanding on, like, how the Force is used. you know, you got Yoda doing all that, and then you've got Palpatine, rather than, as you say, just torturing, using it as a natural attack. I can buy into it, but I'm glad he drew the lightsaber in a way as well. It kind of made him feel like an actual Sith rather than just this overarching villain that was something more, but arguably that wouldn't have been a bad thing either, so what if, I guess. Yeah, Vader will just kill you, Palpatine will make you suffer and wish he killed you. You see, I never saw it that way, Snappy, because the novelization, it went into detail about the idea that Palpatine's true form was what we see after the lightning. It was essentially been using some sort of force ability, I can't remember what they call it, but he'd been using the dark side of the force to mask his aging, essentially. So when the lightning reflected onto him, it essentially just revealed his true form. That's kind of the gist of what the novelization says. If you go on Reddit, there's probably a complete breakdown of that in terms of someone's got the quote from the novelization and broke it down a bit more in terms of how it pans out. But I truly believe that's canon. Even if it hasn't been stated, it is. I have that as canon in my head because it was just so well worded. Yeah, I read that before I watched the film, and considering that was 2005, I would say it was probably a bit too complex for me when I was 13. But I did enjoy it then, and when I read it back a couple of years later, I enjoyed it a lot more. I have to agree, it's definitely one of the best novelizations I've read. Yeah, that's the other thing though, you can't knock Sidious and the Clone Wars. I mean, the fact that he was able to beat Maul and Savage as easily as he did, you know, that was quite literally, I'm toying with you both. So, this is where I go back to it. I do love this concept that Sidious, or Palpatine, whatever you want to call him, is so powerful he doesn't need a saber, he can just use lightning to delete things. But on the flip side, I also like the idea that he's a Sith and he owns it and he's got lightsabers and he can beat you if he wants. Not so much. What I used to do, I had, we used to collect these weekly things from Diagnostini. I've still got them in my airing cupboard of all places. They're like big folders now of pages of information on Star Wars characters, weapons, locations, etc. And it was the idea that every week you got a little bit of something, so you get like a bit of information on a lightsaber or a character or whatever, and you just put it into a folder, you know, and try and organize it. And whenever I got it, I'd try and read the new bit of info. And it's not so much as reading a novel, but there was a lot of legend stuff in there. It's how I know about the likes of Bane and, you know, just even if it's only tidbits, enough of it was absorbed to sort of stick up here a little bit. Yeah, the only actual novel I remember reading was, I can't remember the title, even though I've got it in my spare room, or I think I have. It was a novel where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were, I think they'd gone to protect someone, but they ended getting split up, and I think there was something about Qui-Gon potentially falling in love, but he knew not to, kind of thing. I might be misremembering that. It was either Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan. I've got some image in my head of Obi-Wan being stranded on a mountain. For the record, this is about 20 years ago I read this book, so a little bit of leeway would be nice there, but I remember something about that. I remember it at the time and it was alright, but yeah, compared to like the Revenge of the Sith novelization, it was alright. Once you've read that, it's hard to put things on the same pedestal. I can imagine that was good. I mean, I haven't played KOTOR properly. I've played a bit of it. I mean, if I just toot my own horn for just a second, I can actually find out how much I did play, kind of. Yeah, they definitely reformed him for as Swoggo. I have seen the pictures from beforehand. Here we go, Knights of the Old Republic. I did 12 videos. And they were all about an hour long, give or take a few of them. So I did put a fair bit of time into it, but obviously not that much. Oh, for some reason I've got part 6 up twice. Okay, that's weird. So 11 videos, really. I wasn't really getting into it, and then I heard about the KOTOR remake, and I was like, oh, well, we'll play that. You have to laugh out, that was what, 2011? Sorry, not 2011, 2021? Yeah, that's been a long wait. That's a story the Jedi wouldn't tell. I don't think it's dead, but I think it's being developed at a snail's pace. I don't know if I'm going a little bit wild with some of these. If Malik's in there, this wouldn't work, but if he isn't, maybe? All we gotta do is get 5 dots, and I don't think Sid's... I mean, maybe Sid isn't immune to fear, and that could be an issue, I don't know. Anyway, I might even get there how things go. It's an Ahsoka without Ezra, so the logic is maybe we can get through. At the very least, maybe we can get the sides down. Alright, I'm kind of stalling a little bit as far as what we do. I'm thinking, let's just throw these down for now, kind of. I've left myself the Malicos, I've left myself Malgus, JML. That's a few things in case we need cleanups, but hopefully we don't need cleanups. I can't help but think with them not getting through Supreme Leader Kylo, if we can fall clear, we win, because they just don't seem to have something that will punch through that. So we just need to make sure we can power through regardless. So with that in mind, alright Osprey, this is the challenge. If I just throw someone in a second. We've got 5 Crons. 3 of them are almost designated for a certain team. As far as, if I'm going to do Aphra versus Jabba, I need the Aphra Cron. That's got a fair chunk of armor pen. Okay, hang on. So yeah, I haven't really got many options. Yeah, I mean, I had put in Boba Fett against Trench, but I'm sure something else on this list could be freed up, assuming there's nothing big at the back or we don't need cleanups. Well, I will stand by it. Even though I've not got any Crons on offense, every team on defense has got one, so that is sort of the compromise I've gone for. You know, I've tried to give my opponents as much of a challenge as I can. I've tried to give every team something that's relatively appropriate for them. Only really pans out if you win, of course, but you can say that however it goes. I know, they make me sad if it's worth anything. I mean, on my free-to-play, I did put Padawan Obi-Wan's army on. I went for it, and I'm kind of feeling a little sad over it, because I don't think there are that many feats this time that you can benefit from. I think there's like defense up and health steal up. I've seen those, but there's not as many. So yeah, it's like... on my main, I always seem to power through it somehow, but... it's the time that it takes me. So sea armor or what is the call? Oh, hang on, right. So we're not going for what? We're going for sea armor or sat. Right. I was talking about Obi, yeah. Alright, shall we burn this one? Shall we just get this battle out of the way so we know what we're dealing with? I feel like it's a hot topic right now. So if I go C, Armorer, and Sat. I mean, they change them every conquest volume, so yeah, that's kind of what's happening. Yeah, every 3 conquests they change the feats, so what we've been doing the last 3 aren't the same as what they are for the next 3. Hang on, yeah, each cycle has a new character. That's how you know the feats have changed. I'm just going to see if I can find the list for you. Actually, I'll tell you what, rather than doing it like that, let me share this. There we go. That's Bit Dynasty's website. He does a plan with all the... like a daily plan. But if you're not interested in that, have a look on the feats. Or the feats tab. And he breaks down what he'd do in every sector, what he does for the globals. If you'll just give you an idea, won't it? And yeah, I will add that. I can't believe we're now in the 19th cycle of Conquest. It's like, bleeding hell. Actually, I can't believe there are 18 Conquest characters. Jeez, that's another thing. Oh, characters and ships. Alright, let me poll this because I feel like we're not getting anywhere in terms of a definitive answer. Why is it being an arse? Right, I'm going to give this a very short poll period because I want to just try and get this out. I didn't offer any other additional things, but if you've got something in mind, tell me. That's fine if we one-shot, yeah. Hey, once I get through this, we're not stalling. It's not just in Osprey. There are multiple voices in the chat. I mean, it's hard not to look at that and think, does that fly apart? We get health up. Lady Geek, thank you for the follow. Hello there. Would that actually do anything for C? There's a fair chunk there, but I wouldn't say it's anything crazy. I wasn't sure if that was still running or not. Alright, so we'll stick with armor set. And I will use this Kron, even though it means Bulba's getting relegated. That's the thing, he's not necessarily useless, but he needs the correct tools. You know, if you throw him at anything, then he won't do anything, but if you give him something, if you throw him at the right thing with the right things with him, it's alright. This is where the problem comes, because I'm not sure I've got the right things with him, but we'll see. Alright, they actually fractured the one I'd prefer, so that's good. We got a taunt. We lost a taunt. Put that on C. And that's completely accurate. You know, you can be the worst GL, but you're still a GL. You know, you're still a tier above every other character in the game. I said that with Lord Vader for the longest time, and they've finally decided to change things. That's actually good to know. I didn't realise T was still capable in this situation. I'll do my best. We've got an extremely long cooldown at the moment. Okay. I mean, thankfully, Black's taunting. Again, I would, if I could. I don't know if it's been hidden on the screen, but I've got an extremely long cooldown on that link. There we go. I was on a cooldown of 6. So We don't use the lightning, I assume. Okay. It's alright, I thought they were kind of visible. Didn't think the protection had gone, I thought it was still there. Obviously there's all that bonus protection. Alright, I'll take your word for it. You know where I'm coming from? To me, I couldn't see... And there we go, alright. You know where I'm coming from? I wasn't sure the blue had gone. I really wish there was a way of seeing it clearer. I know you don't want 3 bars, like you don't want green, blue, purple, but in situations like that, I cannot tell that the blue's gone. Alright, cheers for guiding me through that, Osprey. Oh, here she is again. I did forget the cron, the level 3. Got a little too excited early on. It does make you wonder though if you're going to do something that kind of makes it not bad to pair Bane with C. I don't know what, but they obviously brought Bane out to be C's partner. And it's hard not to look at the fact that we still want to do Bane versus something and leave C with the leftovers still. It's like... It's hard not to think that they will want to correct that at some point somehow. Not necessarily like reworking kits, but... I don't know, maybe making it Bane's not as useful on his own. I don't see that ever being the case, because he's always going to be able to beat something, but do you see where I'm coming from? Like, maybe, yes, you could do Bane +1 beating, I don't know, French for argument's sake, just because I see him on the screen. But it'd be better using C and Bane to beat something bigger. You see where I'm coming? Like, they might try and create more things that the two of them can beat. But this is kind of what I'm getting at. Bane is definitely great on his own, and he works great under C, but it's always that thing of, how do I put it? You've got to have a big justification for pairing them, because how much Bane can do on his own with one Sith, it's almost a big sacrifice putting him with C. And it's so strange that, you know, the whole point of bringing him in the game was so that C had someone to lift him, but he's been abandoned straight away. Let's put that on Grand, because I know they'll go for him. I say I know. I felt confident they would, but saying that they didn't even get a turn, so... There, dudes. Alright, Route 9 boss. 307 speed, so I put down Imperial Troopers, but I think that might have been a bit optimistic. We need something that's a little bit nippy. Route 9 Dengar as well, gotta keep that in mind of punishing one, because that could actually cause me to lose my Executor battle. Yeah, definitely worth keeping that one in mind. Maybe, yeah, maybe Adrad's a good shout. Are we going down? No, let's do it. That's actually worried me a little bit. I know you can beat Relic 9 Executor, well, Relic 9 Dengar Executor, but I haven't faced one yet. So I just have the EBGBs because I feel like if RNG's going to go against me, it will go against me. Can we punch your lights out? Not really. Alright, so they're surely going to not Zam, Jin in a minute. A little bit of a side note, but I'm so glad they haven't got an insta-kill in this team. Okay, look at you with your fancy Darkside Revival. Just because you've got Datacrons and I don't. That's it, get rid of the frenzy. Bosky boy, I'm sure you know it, but you're being an absolute nuisance to chew through. You're certainly giving that Relic 9 some love. Yeah, he's carrying right now. I think we'll get him, but it's just a slog. There we go. They say they won't go down without a fight, and that's what they did. Alright, Sith. Let's get Baney Boy in, and Sith Assassin. Ooh, that's a chunk of armor pen. Oh, they're saying that. Only... sorry, let me get my words out right. Drogon's special damage. I feel like I need to... I'm going to set something up so that you guys can actually bonk me on the head every time I forget that. Feels like a regular occurrence at the moment that I'm obsessing about armor pen only to remember that they deal special damage. Alright, you did not die. Okay. Interesting. You could have just stopped that after... Well, you could have stopped that with Kron rather than health. Alright, alright, alright. Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. Bye-bye. Alright, slow down now. Slow down, slow down. Oh, come on. Love you, Bane. Alright. Now I'm feeling safe. Who am I against here? It's Jabba, so the scoundrels. Doing his best slash poo-poo in his pants, trying to get through it. I feel like I need more euphemisms for swear words at times. I have this image in my head of like preschool teachers, or you know, the idea that they can't swear in front of the children, so they find ways of doing it. Jabba's not the easiest to go for. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. But if you're asking, is he bad? By no means is he bad. I think the reason people wouldn't say go for him first is because there's a Rally Cape requirement, and that is difficult to do. But if you can get around that, by all means, it's good to go for. If anything, the best thing about Jabba, which my free-to-play account has learned, is Smuggler's Run 2. You look at the if you look at the mods on my main account versus the mods on my free-to-play, you can see the massive difference there that Smuggler's Run 2 plays a part in. Right, here he is again. Yeah. You just get so many resources that you're able to continually work on your mods. Can't even put it down to anything in particular, in the sense of like, I always do the same thing every day on my accounts, but I'm assuming I just have times when I've got a few more resources that I can pump into my mod calibrations and mod slicing. You just don't notice it, if you know what I mean. If it's worth anything, I have missed Jabba on my free-to-play. You know, before this Afrocron came in, he's been very good on defense, in my opinion. So I'm kind of looking forward to having that option when the Afrocron expires, that, yeah, my free-to-play will actually be able to place Jabba on defense, and it's going to be, you know, something to free up something on my offense. Also, that is a nice side point. Jedi Outlook Skywalker is definitely nice to get. Alright, I said we'd get the head of steam up once we got through that first team. And say, Nappy always having doubts. Not liking that health there, though. Oh, okay. Can we pop a taunt, please? Just something to protect this wonderful BSF that's only Relic 5. That will do. It's not great, but it'll do. There we go. Yeah, Bastille Shan Fragile, I think that's very fitting. Just put it on that very long list of characters that I would like to take up a couple of relics by end at the time. Like, top of that list is Maul. There's Lord Vader. Hello. Not pleased to see you. So, Darth Revan, I was actually going to do Zalbar mission, but that's a silly idea. Just saying, that mission's probably not the worst. Sorry, you guys can't see it, it's a mission cron down here. If it'd been Zalbar cron, that would have been different. Balin, I think we can do the same as planned. This DTMG. So no Gungans. And again, I kind of respect that. They put Jocasta in there just to try and switch things up a bit. Can Sid do DTMG? I know Gungans can do Raven. I mean, maybe I could switch it like Great Mothers do. Balin's there. The plan was to use Jabber on Balaam. Phidias beats Balin, okay. So then, Gungan's there. Oh, and I've just realised I haven't Dadrad, that's not here, right. Let me just delete that. I knew I hadn't done something, right. Lord Vader, that's going to be Sir Malicos. We haven't got to worry about, well, we have got to worry about it, but... Well, that's the backup, JML. If Sir Malicos can't get through it on the first attempt, hopefully we can get into a 2 to 3 shot territory. Just remember what I said at the beginning, we're just making sure we full clear. It doesn't matter if we have to multi-shot things as long as we get through it. Okay. I mean, I can understand what you mean. And Ted's got the Omicron, which makes it worse. The thing I'm asking is JML actually safer? Again, you know I've got respect for the Osprey. You know more than I do. It's just, it's like, JML just doesn't feel safe in general right now. Just to get Apo down. I mean, there's definitely a case where we can, like I said, we can afford the 2-shot. Okay. Just play around with these then. That could be doable. GM vs Jocasta, right? Maybe we can move that there. Do Jabber against that. Malgus against French. Let's just have a look at that trench again, just see what it is. Oh, it's the Dooku Cron. I haven't actually seen that yet. It's bad that I kind of want the Gungans there. Like, that just... The Gungans just kill that. Yeah, so maybe Gungan that. I mean, I'm actually looking at that. Could Mon Mothma do something there, maybe? Because they'd have to faff around with the summon a bit. And again, at worst, it can't assist with Star forever. Oh, of course, yeah, but you could still take down Zalbar. Or try to take down Zalbar, I should say. Plus, Kyle does get extra damage if the leader is sick. Okay. Maybe Treya? I mean, we've got Balin chilling up here. We could use Balin. I don't think we needed Balin for that. We could end up doing something a lot smaller there. Like Imps. Yeah, for sure. We could just do a sacrifice. My point is, if we can one-shot it, it would be nice, wouldn't it? Alright, I think we start on a few of these at the back. Just to... Let's just see. I do want to actually get this one out of the way. That way I'm not saving the Kron for it. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We know we don't need to one-shot. Did Balin not get a message then? Honestly? To be honest, right, I'm confused. I saw Balin add 5 stacks of dots, so shouldn't he have died? That was the bit that confused me. I was like... Right, so how the hell you meant to be killing him? Right, I've probably not got the damage on him then, because I haven't modded Sid to do anything. At least I don't think I have. I've modded him just so he can... Well, I haven't even modded him from what I remember. He's just got mods. There we go, nothing too crazy. Potency cross. Still over 100% potency. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I'll take the idea that you guys get to see a failure. I mean, just for context on the Kron. Here we go. 11.12% health. Yeah, I never said they did, to be fair. I said it got health, I never said it was great health. It's not like a moddy for protection or anything, is my point. Right, so... Doesn't really matter anyway, because I know I need to find a way through that. Which kind of takes me back to doing Jabba there. I mean, it says Bad Batch there. That doesn't feel likely. No, by the sounds of it, a mod for health and potency. Right, I think that's how we're going to try it. Yeah, as well, one thing I would say, I wasn't planning on actually using Sidious in this situation. So it's definitely not something I thought, alright, I'll mod for this. So, for myself, I'm not feeling bad about it, you know, as far as... Sidious for me is a character that just gets whatever mods. Because what I've been using him for up to now anyway, he's just needed whatever mods, you know? Alright, that blows. Yeah, I mean, for me, the Cron just lets me beat things I couldn't normally beat. I don't use it to punch beyond that, do you know what I mean? Like, I know you do mods specifically to try and get the most out, whereas me, I'm just like, if it can help me beat other things, I'm fine. If a certain counter needs it, then fair enough. But like I say, I didn't know about that counter needing certain modding. So it's like, if you don't know, you're not going to do it, are you? Right. Let's get JML in here. So we've got to focus down Apo. That is freaking scary. Our one turn and we're already lost all our protection on Cal. Wow. That is genuinely a worry. If I got coins, I'd be doing coins, just to put it out there. Okay, Apo gone. You love to tease as Romeo. $10. We've got a... I mean, we're kind of dead here, aren't we? Yeah, CX just basically decided, no, I don't want to die. I mean, this is all definitely a case of what if, but I'm really hoping Seer Malicos is clean here. Just for the simple fact, a two-shot never feels good if it could have been a one-shot, you know what I mean? Even like when I'm saying we have got room for two shots, it just makes me feel a little bit EBGB. Right. If there was ever a time to use a Kron, oh, what? I actually googled that before I came on. I was like, why is Apple ID randomly popping up on my screen? And no one's asking the question. I'm actually getting sick of it. It's like it's trying to dox me. No point using the lightsaber, it's not going to do any damage. All right, 35. Gungans versus DTMG. Just because I don't know what the Gungan lineup should be, I'm guessing it's Jar Jar. Yeah, Jar Jar, Phalanx. Alright, let's have a laugh. And of course they dispel all that, great. Let's just go for the basic. Get all them debuffs on. And lock them in. I feel like we're reliant on a death mark here. There we go. Speak the devil. And of course it gets Bleeding Cleanse, because why wouldn't it be? Yeah, I think it's got to be. There we go. Jar Jar's basic is like one of the craziest basics in the game, really, isn't it? Like, it's like a lucky dip of what you want. I mean, what is it? You can either inflict Death Mark, the weakest Gungan ally gains damage immunity, or they all gain Tenacial. I mean, that's like... Yeah, take your pick, which one you fancy? Yeah, and it can insta-kill. Like, it's a 0.01 chance, but it can. Yeah, I mean, surprisingly not RNG, I will agree with you there. For something with that many clauses, you would have thought it would. I've had it once, but it was against Separatists, so that almost feels like it doesn't count because that's not 0.01, I don't think. Yeah, it increased to 1%. I mean, 1 out of 100 versus 1 out of, what is it, 10,000? Bit of difference. Okay, bit interesting. Oh, no, didn't want that. Just opening up WhatsApp. Right, what are we doing next? Great Mothers. Might as well go for Jocasta. That must be a bit rough. You know when you know the odds and it happens, that must be like, really? Is my luck that badly out right now? Alright, Granny down. Bow down. I mean, I've put Caloran on defense, but I wouldn't be trying Jocasta like this. She just doesn't seem to be built for Caloran, does she? I wouldn't be too surprised if Caloran isn't going to be part of the team. But other than that, I think it's... yeah, I think it's just... you gotta wait for Mace. Okay. Yeah, arguably. It probably is alright to two-shot it. It's the Omicron on Zalbar. Essentially, let me just get this right in my head. Mission dies and Earth stats get passed on to both Darth Revan and Zalbar. Right, that one's about as bad as it could go. Just basics. I mean, she dies, but she revives, yeah. Ooh. Okay, let's do that. Third days there feels better, and maybe we just do that to try and heal up the team. Alright, that's fine for a two-shot, that's fine. I'll say a two-shot, a two-hit. let's do Treya here. Is that your skill level, P-Max? If so, GG's. I don't know what mine is. I haven't looked in a while, but that definitely sounds impressive what you're rocking. Let's get rid of that riposte. Cooldown's increased, it's what we like. Pop some burning on Django, because why not? Kill you. And padoink. I've said it a few times, but I feel the need to repeat it. When is Sion getting an Omicron? Not a Datacron CG, an Omicron. I want Savage to be able to do his own thing, or at least go wherever he wants. And right now he feels absolutely glued to the two of the Triumvirate. When Sion, with an Omicron, could be god tier for that team. And yes, it'd mean 2 Omicrons on that team. I'd take it. And also make sure that Nihilus is connected to it so that people don't decide, right, we're going to do a triple Omicron team where we've got Treya, Sion, and Savage. No, we don't want that either. Please. Alright, let's give the imps a go. I'll check the speeds before going in. But hopefully this has got legs. 294. That's 35 on top, so that's what, 329? So yeah, we should be alright here. What did I say? Alright, so much for that plan. What was the 25% TM for? Okay. I'm wondering if I could do something with EP Mara. Because they are generally good in this situation. It's just we haven't got Star Killer, so maybe Vader? Yeah, my mole is Garbanzo. Relic 1. And then my ISC and Gara Gear 12. Honestly, it's beginning to feel like I need to make a bigger deal of Mole. Alright, pop that. And that. And that. Yeah, 35 quid was it for one character? I could not justify it, even with the sarcasm you've labelled that with. Oh. These revives are really irritating when you're not expecting them. Okay, Leia. For what it's worth, I did actually put down as a potential thing, maybe Balin could have done Rey, but I looked at the win rate and it looked atrocious. So I was like, okay, we're not doing that apparently. Oh, he's stunned. I'll take that as like a small positive and a sea of bads. Can we stun? Thank you. You're going to take a turn, aren't you? You get. Alright, the stun there is nice because Exile didn't go straight on us. Let's just do that. Ooh. Okay. Get rid of Ezreal. Yeah, I wish we got healer. We could have done something with that, but let's just go there. Pop that there. I almost don't want to use the ult. I know I should, but I've got R2's low health in my head and I'm thinking should I just wait for it to do something? But Whirlwind. God. Yeah. Oh, and DI, we're fine. DIs, we're fine. Yeah, she's still got. R2's still got DI. We're okay there. All right, now. Perfect. Bugatti, hello there. How you doing? Let's get these two in. Let's see how this goes. Bye-bye, mission. I mean, I might be wrong, but doesn't Balin have like an entire clause in his kit saying he doesn't like Sith Empire? Like, I know that this isn't an entire Sith Empire team, but you would think that it would be like a big, you're not beating me kind of deal. Yeah, it doesn't like fear, but that kind of is Sith Empire's entire thing, isn't it? Alright, I said it before, that worries me because, yeah, I wouldn't like having to clean up. So I think I go as heavy as I can with this. Do I even bring Scimitar to try and kill her down? Do I try and bring Scimitar in for gain speed? Right. Yeah, for sure I agree on that point. It's that little thought of, I know that it's going to go faster. Right, pop that there. We haven't reinforced, so we're just basic. Yeah, that's my concern, T-Max. I know there's a very fine line I'm walking on here. Certainly out of my comfort zone on it. It's not like I've never been known to make a misplay. Oh, you look at. Gonna be an evade, but I feel like I've got to just try and land it. Oh, death mark, right. Ouch. That's fine. Well, the reinforcement choice is fine. Let's get rid of punishing one so that we haven't got to deal with that. Marauders. Well, I say Marauder. The bomber's looking in very sketchy territory, but we got to ult. Okay. You wouldn't go for punishing one, you go for cab. I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't know if you do or not, so yeah, if that's what you say you do, fair play. I'm gonna say, considering it's the first R9 I've faced, it seemed okay. Certainly not asking for more. Because I will admit, Dengar's been on my interested list. You know, like if ever I had like a random R9 free, why would I? But just supposing I did, then yeah, Dengar's kind of that I'd be intrigued thought. But yeah, actually seeing it, it's not something I really wanted. The only reason I didn't use the swarm initially is I thought I want to make sure that Malgus Ang's in there. But for sure it was on my mind. I was thinking, should I or should I heal? So, again, it's that, when we're talking about misplays, it's where there was room for it, because I could so easily have gone in the other direction. Oh, okay, I know Radis is the evade fleet, but it doesn't take much to get me on edge. The effect speed, Ralix. Yeah, the two lives I understand. I think it's more the fact that I know they can burn through them a little bit quick. More so the second one. But, again, like I said, it was my first time seeing it, so if I were to try it again and do it your way, maybe I'd find it a lot smoother. Heal. Okay, we're all just doing things and stuff. Alright, chill. Just spamming me with basics. This just feels so weird now. Just in general, right? I do this every Grand Arena, it feels, but just the fact that it's got to the point where using Radis feels good. Or at least better than using a Malevolence or using a Chimera. It's like, yeah, I'm going to try my best to get good banners doing it this way. Oh, hang on, that was a misplay. Great. Great start. Great. Great, 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 great. Anyone will think my hand jumps. It doesn't. I just think I'm on the button and I'm not. No. Ugh, okay. That's what we want. I've started bringing in Lando for the simple fact, if it goes wrong, it feels bad. So, 1983 to 1732. Now, maybe they have got something they can burn this down with. Like, they've just found a way to whittle it down. But honestly, I'm just taking my chances that we've got enough here. I mean, I suppose we'll find out. I mean, if I back out a minute, I can do the score check, as it were. I've just seen your skull mall on Discord. That was unlucky, that. I do agree with you. I think they could do with working out a tie solution that's not GP based. I mean, it is bad. Alright, so for clarification, if they could take down the Slacker, they would finish on up to 2031. So, yeah. I don't think they've got it to clear the Slacker, but you never know. You got the Radis Lightspeed bundle. Hopefully it'll be useful later for you since you can't upgrade it as all the mats will go to Executor. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think that's probably the way to go as far as make sure you're prioritizing resources where you want them right now. But for sure, I wouldn't sleep on Radis. I feel like not long ago, I say not long ago, about just 18 months ago, I'd say Radis was the bottom of the fleet meta. I think even Endurance has slightly crept up a little bit. Just simply because Marauder had come out, and that was a... Even though it was mainly being used with Negotiator, it had a teeny bit of viability with Endurance. But I'd say Radis would come up and just shot up a few shots. Or spots, I should say. Yeah, Finalizer's way at the bottom now, and I am honestly saying to him, come on, bring out something for Finalizer. It's where the Era system is really going to hurt. Let's hang out with a raid. Party of 14, how you all doing there? I'd say I saw you gone live, but I'm going to say I didn't have a chance to hop in, but hope you've had a good chat, man. How you doing, Mike and Bones? Just got through our GAC. Fingers crossed we've won. Our opponent couldn't get through my Supreme Leader Kylo on the back wall, so if they can't beat that, we win. If they come back with some out there counter, I've got the win. So, cool. The Huts send their regards. Does that mean I've got to essentially put like a barricade on my front door? You know, I've got to expect Boba Fett to be knocking on. I mean, to be fair, I'd be happy with Tamora Morrison knocking on my door. That'd be kind of cool. Cheers for the shout out, Snappy. I was going to say, we had the crate raid, didn't we? That seems like a lifetime ago now. Oh, you know, it's funny, I keep going on about the fact that my mall is absolutely trash, and I laugh because I keep saying to myself, I'd like it if the raids rotated. And it's hard to say that and then realise, oh yeah, Your crate teams still suck. They aren't as bad as they were back then. I mean, I've got the Old Republic Lightspeed bundle, so that's boosted them up a bit, and I've got the Jabba. I've got some Jedi, I think, for the JKR team, but yeah, it's oh yeah, I've just realised I got Tuskens and I got Jawas as well. So actually, I'm not doing too bad in some ways. But yeah, that Maul team, man. It would feel bad throwing in Jawas ahead of Maul. Let's say that. Where I wish the resources weren't so important, because it would be cool if you could just activate the crate raid just to go back in time for a week. But you just can't justify dropping those Guild Mark 3 tokens. I wouldn't have thought it'd be miles better. I would expect them to maintain the current structure to a large degree. I mean, they introduced Relic 9 this time, and it was like, but when you think they just essentially added a tier on rather than moving anything too drastically. So I think that's what they'll do. They'll just keep it at R9 and keep the rewards as they are. Yeah, they get removed. I mean, that's the bummer. I get why they do it. But there is always this bit of me where I'm like, did they have to remove them? You know, like, could they at least just put a little bit in so that those who maybe don't have the newer characters could just stick at it a bit longer? But I get it. They want people moving on. I don't disagree about Droid Brains. I feel like my biggest issue is I don't really mind Droid Brains. You know, like, how do I phrase it? I join TW if my guild say we need XYZ counter, I'll attack, but I'm just not fussed about territory wars. I'm upfront about it. I do try to treat it as my days off from Swaggo, and for that reason Droid Brains are just not a priority for me, because it's like, if I get them, great. If I don't get them, so yeah. If they made me more bothered about it, I would be interested, but R9 just doesn't bother me. Like, even when we do the compare, it bothers me in the sense I see people like have twice, 3 times, 4 times the number of R9s I've got, true, but it's not like I go, ooh, it's like, okay, that's interesting. But again, that could be where I am in GA. You know, there'll be people who are in Kaiba 1 who are thinking, yeah, it's the R9s that are actually blocking me now. Couldn't tell you how many I'm sitting on, to be fair. For me, it's too much of an issue taking a character with all the signal data up to R9. Even R8, sure. You know, I do R7 as like, if I take a character to max in my head, it's R7. If I'm taking it to R8 or R9, it's because I have to for a requirement or the odd luxury. Yeah. That's close to me, T-Max. I've got Lord Vader on my free-to-play R9, that wasn't. And Raver on my main. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think a lot of characters only need R7. And I say only as in, probably a few don't even need that. But, you know, if you go and use them for certain game modes, R7's like ideal. It's like this bit of me wishing I could take my Gungans up to R7, you know, that'd be cool for TV, but also I get a little bump in the rage, you know. But it's not like when I'm doing GA, I'm thinking, oh, the reason I lost this GA is because I didn't have an R7 boss Nash, you know, it's like, he'd do the same at R5 that he does at R7. I'm gonna say the market value of Droid Brains, I think Osprey'd sell them to you if he could. Heck, I'd sell you mine if I could. I'd be in for a killing. Ooh, I've got everyone dazed, that's nice. I'm doing the events, if you're asking me, by the way. I'm not taking them to 7-star straight away or anything, but, you know, I get enough to get them 4-star during the event, and then I get enough shards to work on them, you know, get the shards each time they're around kind of thing. To me, the only way you can actually get them 7-star during the first run is if you've got crystals, like a massive horde of crystals, or your whale. So, yeah. Like here, I've got mine. I've got tier 1, 2, and 3 open. 35 shards off for 5-star. And it's a shame. I would like to be able to get a bit closer because, as bad as it sounds, I'd like the 2 armies. I do like some of the portraits that come out. I'm not the biggest thing. I'll never be a fan of portraits in principle as rewards, but sometimes you see them and I'm like, you know, that'd be one I wouldn't mind rocking. Even the titles sometimes are like, okay, that'd be kind of cool just to have below your name. Nothing crazy, but you know, if you're getting them for just having the thing at 5-star, it's not bad. And obviously, when you get to these tiers, it looks really crazy. Like getting Lord Signal, Zimbindles, Datas, not bad. Get 4 armies just for doing it. Alright, we're in the money. Up you go, Scando. I mean, that's looking alright now, isn't it, for the journey guide? I mean, obviously 6 at Gear 12 isn't great. That's a lot of Gear 12 pieces still to go, but I feel like getting the newer characters all done, it's now just that little slog that I'm in with the Gear 12s now, which, honestly, that doesn't feel too bad. I mean, it's what, 600 Karatech left? I don't know which kinds, obviously, but 600 of both of them. I managed to get Horn done by Pants the other day. I don't know, I think it was because I've been farming Hunter and I just hadn't been using signal data, so I just had a load there and I was able to just bump him up from 6 to 8. But yeah, it even means the hardest relic level's done now, so I've just got to take these up as they need. Won't get Raver finished though first. I am RJ with the raid, party of 5. How you all doing, folks? Just killing time between my fleet battles and just taking a look at my free-to-play. Going to do GA in a minute. I I bet I could get this done tonight, couldn't I? Well, we need 8 flawed and 7 incomplete. Yeah, we should get that done tonight. First question is, what should I do after? I mean, Jabba's the one that screams out as far as obviously it's the farm I'm doing, but I can't help but look at these 3 and think, do I just press the button on them now, get them done, while I'm still working on these Gear 12s? It's an odd one. I mean, my shard farm every day is still the Bad Batch. I mean, Batcher, he'll still take a bit, but Fugitive, 6-star, not looking bad. Wreckers 5, could be better. Yeah, on this account, well, on both my accounts, I have all 3 GL ships. Actually, I have all ships on all my accounts. You've got situations like that where Consula's ship is really terrible, but I never use that ship. Probably the one that's not as good as it should be is Atbar. If I could give him a little bump up, I would, because I do have a soft spot for Atbar. What's the difference between the accounts? Essentially, my free-to-play is just a teensy-weensy bit smaller. It started about 6 months late. But besides that, we've got 1 less Gialia, so instead of Jabba and Leia, we've got Lord Vader here, so just a little bit different. Besides that, it is largely the same. We're missing a few conquest units that I missed just because I couldn't really juggle the 2 conquests well. We haven't got Luthanier and we haven't got Ezra Exile. But I think other than that, we're actually largely okay. I'm actually trying to think what I'm missing. That's it, we haven't got these 2. We haven't got Jar Jar and Afra. We haven't got Balin. Yeah, quite a few differences when you spell it out. Tatsay, how you doing, man? And yeah, I've been playing my free-to-play since 2019, so I've had a long time to build it up. Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's a misnomer. You know, you can say free-to-play and it implies it's a brand new account, whereas I've been playing this, you know, not far off from when I first started playing the game, so, you know, it's had a long time to build. At one point, I actually felt it was better than my main, but Lightspeed bundles changed that. You know, if you can buy Rey and Supreme Leader Kylo for the price that they were available at the time, yeah, it's going to boost your roster up a little bit. If you watch some of my older videos on my YouTube channel, you know, like if you go back, say, 2 years maybe, you'd see what I mean. You know, my Crimson account was quite a way ahead. I think I did have actually more GLs there. So on my main at the time, I was farming more passion projects. You know, I was going for the normal legendaries more. And it was like I was trying to go more off meta there, you know, trying to beat GLs without GLs. Whereas now it's like, well, kind of got the best of both worlds. Alright, let's hit Cunning. What time are we on? 3:25. We got good time. Could do with checking that I have actually placed my defenses in TW as well. I'm pretty sure I have, but I don't know about you guys, especially if you got multiple accounts. It is easy to be unsure. For me, it all blurs into one with TW. Alright, full auto. Okay. Sorry, I've just had a text off my mum. She's asking if our car's unlocked. I don't know why it would be. You gave up on your second account 3 years ago. It's much easier to invest it all in one account. I can't disagree there. I mean, there was a bit of me thinking the other day, and it was actually a very sad thought that because Temen's actually surpassed Crimson, there's a bit of me thinking it wouldn't be the worst thing to retire it. But I've always said Crimson's the one I've had my best moments on, you know, like the happiest moments. So for that reason alone, I couldn't really retire it, but it was that thought of, if I were to do it, you know. I do remember. It was, the thing is as well, I have managed 3 accounts recently enough as well, and Conquest kind of killed that as a possibility. You can't do Conquest on 3. Well, at least I can't. You know, if someone's out there who's managing Conquest on 3 or more accounts, power to you. I've struggled on 2. Which account do I enjoy more, the free-to-play or the main? Well, this is the thing. I can say safely I've always enjoyed my free-to-play. I wouldn't say I've not enjoyed my main, but I feel like the free-to-play, it is a grind, but you sort of get that dopamine hit more when you've ground something and you've actually earned it without, I don't know, paying for a few extra crystals or, you know, whatever you might do on a paid-for account. So it's like, I definitely feel like I've had my highs there, but yeah, I feel like I'm finding it easier on my main now. So it's like, yeah, maybe I just haven't had that dopamine hit on my free-to-play for a while. Maybe when I get Jabber, I'll feel it again. Yeah, I feel like free-to-play is always the more rewarding. I think that's a safe way of putting it. I mean, it's like I said, if I were to retire Crimson, it would be a very sad day for me. I think I'd be dressed all in black. That was the thing, wasn't it? It is the Lightspeed bundles, effectively, that changed things a little in my mind, because again, I wish I could snapshot where my accounts were. I mean, I've done videos before about where my accounts are. And like I say, back then, I had JML. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what was out and what wasn't out back then. I had JML, I had Jabba, and that was it. Leia, I was going for Leia, but Leia was brand new at the time, so she wasn't like, I was farming her stuff, if you like. I hadn't got Rey, I hadn't got Slacker, I hadn't got C, and I hadn't got Kenobi. So that was when those first Lightspeed bundles hit. So that's a sign on that top row alone about how much has changed there. It's absolutely crazy. A little bit like that, I do agree, Mol. I mean, it's like here, it's not that I'm feeling in limbo as such, but I suppose if you didn't watch me for a little bit, right? You know, you've seen all this right now, and then maybe 6 weeks' time you came back. I'd imagine a lot of these would still be here. You know, and it's just simply that you can only go so fast on free-to-play. You know, and it does have that vibe. I mean, take Baze, for instance. I would love just to be able to give him a little bump and take him off my list, but it's hard to give Baze that moment of attention when I've got pressing things like these 3. I've got Raver that definitely deserves Relics. Doctrine of Moff Gideon that I know deserves Relics. But then I've got all these Jabba requirements as well. It's like, it's hard to split your resources. I mean, you still have that same problem on, the main account where I can spend. But I think every now and then you get little shortcuts. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm that far. I don't use the account for ticket gathering. I mean, we've had a few retiring players in the last 6 months. And 2 of them did reach out offering me their account just for that purpose of anything, for PB platoons and for keep the guild tickets coming in. I declined one and I did take the other on quietly for a little bit, but couldn't keep it up. And it's just impossible to do 3. And not just that, it's like I was saying with Conquest. When you've got bigger accounts or accounts that are capable of doing it, you want to do it because it's like, you see what's in a roster and you're like, I really want to try and get a red crate with this because it's possible. So, yeah, it feels bad when you just can't put the time in for it. Just while I'm thinking about it, let me see if I can check TW. Is my internet connection lagged? Can you guys see me? And every moment counts, baby. I don't want to miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars or hang out. Cheers, Gav. I genuinely didn't know because like the little preview I have on my phone, it wasn't updating. I just wondered if my internet crashed or something. Alright, we're all full and I'm 2 and 3, so I'm fine with that. I mean, just another little thing, by the way. We're talking about free-to-play stuff, and I do think this kind of plays into it. That... Oh, hang on, just realised my overlay covers it. Again, I want to make this clear at the start. I'm not knocking my guild or anything. The people in my guild that I really have strong affection for, it's the reason why I'm here and why I wouldn't leave. But there is a point when I think you've got people who are in, like, say, 600 mil guilds compared to myself at 479 mil. You can probably see the difference there in terms of how progress affects things. Like, if you're in a big guild, even if you're free to play, you're probably getting bigger rewards. Whereas, I'm not saying our guild's small or anything, but you probably feel the difference more, don't you? And with respect, I can imagine you do feel you get more than I probably do. Again, I'm not saying that's wrong or anything, just that's how it is, isn't it? It would be nice if it could level out a bit more. I mean, if anything, when I'm thinking about what top players are saying right now, or at least what I'm hearing they're saying, it does seem to be there are different issues at the top end of the game for what they need versus what someone at my kind of the end of the game needs. And it'd be nice if they could curve that out a bit better. Like maybe put some rewards at the top end of TV, for instance, that are more tailored to what they need in the game. Which, if I've heard right recently, is credits, maybe? Maybe rally materials, signal data? I think that would be just as good versus just giving gear that they've got loads of anyway. But then again, if you take that gear away from them, they're going to need the gear. So I suppose it's a catch-22. I've got it in my head that when they did the original change from OFF-TB to GOTB, and kind of when they did the change from GOTB to Rote, they adjusted the rewards in the previous TB to try and make it a bit quicker for people to jump up. And it's like, I'm wondering if they need to do that within the TB now, just to try and reflect that some people maybe need that little bump. Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I do feel like my guild's always been good at that, or the group of guilds I'm in. You know, I think, if anything, it all comes down to playstyle to a degree. Like, my guilds have always been very relaxed. You know, and to be honest, I kind of need that. You know, I couldn't be in a guild that's like banging on at me to do TW. I would go insane. But again, that's kind of each to their own, isn't it? You know, you have to accept the rewards that you're essentially earning. You know, and by earning, I mean you go into a big guild, you do the things the big guild ask, you get the rewards for doing it. Whereas if you don't do it, you don't get the rewards. So I completely respect that. That's kind of how it's played, isn't it? Yeah, I bought in Scimitar, so I don't know why I'm playing manual. Yeah, I don't know if this is just because I'm on the free-to-play and I'm just having a bit of a salty few moments about wishing I could progress a little bit faster, but genuinely I do understand why, you know, it is how it is. Yeah, it's like how I said, I feel like there's a misnomer about, you know, free-to-play meaning brand new. You know, whenever you see a thumbnail on YouTube saying, I've just started a free-to-play account, the implication is that, you know, it's brand new. And, you know, Arnold's got a free-to-play account, but his has been going for 4 years, is it? Maybe 5? Yep, it's just a funny thing, isn't it? Yeah, it just takes time. Time, patience, and probably a good guild around you. And so if you haven't got a good guild, you will struggle because a lot of rewards are gated around guild events. You know, you want droid brains, you need to be in a guild over 300 million GP that can win in TW. You want a lot of gear, you want to do well in TB, or preferably Rote, so you're getting good gear from that. Similarly, you want to be in a good guild that can get raid rewards. And so if you try and do it solo or in a bad guild, you're not getting any of them. And I'll admit that was my biggest hurdle coming into Swago, because before that, I'd never played in any kind of guild. You know, I was a lone wolf gamer. So, yeah, that was a foreign concept to me coming into this. And to a degree, I still am like that. You know, it's like with Marvel Rivals, I still haven't played that this season, by the way. But that was something that I didn't really feel comfortable doing, just going and hopping in a voice chat with some randoms. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're on the same wavelength there, Cadster. I mean, I'm as competitive as I can be, you know? You guys have seen me. To be honest, right, I really want to set some things up on stream so that if I ever do come across some I'm having a sulk or a bit of a mood, you can bonk me on the head digitally over it, because I do take things as competitively as I can, but I'm also not a top player. You know, I know my level. And it's like, it's that little balancing act of, you know, enjoying the highs, being as good as you can be, but also not getting too low and not getting too down when, you know, you've probably gone below your level. Yeah, I mean, it's like when the Lightspeed bundles came out, T-Max. I got a lot of questions saying, are you going to buy them on your free-to-play? And I mean, in principle, I could have done to speed up some progress, but it's like, one, it beats the purpose of being a free-to-play, but besides that, I just thought, no, I'd rather stick at it and, because when you think that's the story of the account, it's always been a non-spender, and it just, to me, didn't make any sense. I might as well just stick at it. But, it's not wrong. The Hyperdrive bundle, what is it, a tenner now? 19.99? It'd do wonders, even for a little bump on my free-to-play, but I just don't feel it'd be worth it, for the sacrifice it brings. It's weird how morals can come to a thing like this. I'm not saying it's immoral to buy the bundles, but when you've been free to play as long as you have, it feels a bit like that. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't feel in a tight situation now, financially, I would be putting a bit more money into the game, because I feel like CG have actually done good things of late. Like, they've got the Lightspeed bundles, which obviously have been a big, massive help for players who need those things. But even the episode pass, I reckon there's some controversy around it, in terms of if you're free to play, it's made things a bit more difficult. Or, in terms of the focus datacrons, all that kind of stuff. But on the flip side, I think it's actually been quite nice in terms of giving players access to like the new characters a bit more. Like you can get the 4-star characters quite easily. For me, that's really good. Just Lilith, hello there. How you doing? Yeah, I mean, 5 months in, you're very early in the game. Or at least I would imagine you are anyway. So just take your time with it. Free to play, it's a slow grind, but I don't think the game's going anywhere. I think. For all we know, it could shut tomorrow. But there's no indicators it's dying off anytime soon, so just take your time, enjoy the game. Free to play as well means you've not got any, what's the phrase? I can't remember what the term is for, like, if you're gambling, you've got to know when to pull out. Yeah, the phrase has gone from my head, but essentially you've got nothing in to worry about pulling out. Sudden cost fallacy, thank you. That's the term. But yeah, you haven't got any of that to bring with you as well. Whereas I will admit that is something that I always worry about every time I put money in the game. But I say worry, it crosses your mind. Yeah, the combined episode pass reduced cost of marquees, it really has helped. I do agree. I mean, if I'd got more money, I would be trying to keep up that way, because it has been a very positive step from CG. There's no way I could say otherwise. Even if it's still expensive in terms of, like, I was looking at the price of Death Stranding 2 the other day. It's a game that I really want. And I've said, right, I'm going to put my money aside to get it. That is 70 quid up front. So you think a marquee is still, what, 100 plus? For me, that is kind of where I do have issues with mobile gaming in general. The fact that CG are trying to say this brand new character is worth more than a AAA game. But we play the game, we get the value. It's one of those where I'm like, I just wish mobile gaming in general wasn't as greedy. But I get it. Yeah, I mean, you say it's to push Jabber and Executor, but honestly, it's a great way to just get a head start, which is the whole purpose of them. I mean, they came out obviously around May 4th, and my main account were one or two things that were there for me. But yeah, nothing really pushed me because I didn't need them, and I think that's the difference. I don't need these things, whereas you as a new player benefit more, It's why they are going to be good moving forward. Okay, so recap for those of you who missed it. We did lose the last round against Gilead. Yeah. 34 banners in it. Now, I did point it out at the time, and I'm going to just try and pull the map up on here for... Oh, of course, Discord's not working for some reason. Alright, so I can't show it on Discord. The point was, if we look at the actual banners, we didn't drop on the front wall. That was great. Then I think we did drop on... There we go. We dropped on Qui-Gon, but we did attack the top wall first, and we dropped badly up there. We dropped twice on Jabba and 3 times on Leia. And the story was we tried Night Sisters on Jabba. The Cron made it not work. So we cleaned up with, I think it was Sia Malicos. And then the Leia, we tried to Bane. Bane didn't work first time, so we went in with... I think it might have been C and some leftovers. And that got us into a position to then clean up Leia. So the whole point I'm making here is we did drop a lot. And then, did we have to drop in Fleet as well? I think we had to 2-shot something. No, I'm imagining that, right. So, 5-6 drops we've made. Compare that to our opponent, who I'm pretty sure across everything just dropped here. So yeah, they just dropped on Executor. So, at 5 or 6 drops versus 3, yeah, I was only 34 banners behind. Something in that tells me that I was playing pretty efficiently, even though I lost. So you think, if I can actually cut out those losses, learn those mistakes and not make them again, in theory, I would do better next time. It's a weird positive to take out of it, but I'm like, alright, you know, I can live with that kind of loss, you know, it's like, don't make those mistakes, we win. Cool. So, that's the aim today, we're not going to make those kind of mistakes again, hopefully. We're up against, was it Dark Knight Sithla? Yeah, Knight Sithla. Alright. Just wail by everything, you will totally not regret it later. Are you a CG rep, just Lilith? Yeah, I mean, I always remember that an interview Clubs Fan Han, who doesn't play the game anymore, did with some Wales. And it really did strike me when I heard them talking, because I'm not gonna lie, I prejudged a little bit before that. You know, I've got my mum, who we're on a very tight budget here. So when I would have said to my mum, people spend X amount on this game, there was a bit of judgment about it in terms of how can it be justified. But then I heard these people who do have the money to spend talking about how they justify it. And it did open my eyes a bit in terms of, you know what? There's definitely worse things in the world to actually be spending your money on. And you do add in the fact that it keeps the game going. What arm does it do? All this kind of stuff. It really did open my eyes to it, or at least it opened me up in terms of honestly just not being so judgy, which in general in life I'm trying not to be. But there are times when you don't realise you're doing it, or at least you don't realise how bad you're doing it. So I will give that video, or that series of videos Clubs Fan Han did, some credit. He really did, you know, he hit the target audience, if you like. Kind of lost my point here, but yeah, it's just one of those where it's like, I do have respect for Wales in that regard, because, you know, I think maybe there are people like how I was out there. And yeah, I think it'd be nice if there was still that conduit, you know what I mean? That way of just opening people's eyes a little bit to them, because they do keep the game alive. Free to play certainly don't. I mean, I'm sure back when that video was done for What It's Worth Team Max, I can't remember who it was, but one of them did say that they'd spent about 100k on the game. And that must be, what, 2020 they said that? So, 5 years on, you know, it's not unreasonable that there's someone who spent a bit more than that, to put it mildly. And again, I've learned not to judge. Yeah, I mean, I'm chuckling at the R9 Cup because Fish, who's always in the chat, he's had an R9 Cup for donkeys. And he kind of sums up how you can play this game. You know, you can play it the ultra hardcore way, or you can basically R9 Cup. And I've got I've had guildmates who are exactly the same. They'll R9 Maul, Darth Maul, I should say, just because they like the character. You know, so many different ways of playing the game, and obviously the people at the top, the ones who spend loads, they are more inclined usually, I suspect, to play more competitively. But then there are people who just want to R9 Cup. Alright, let's have a look at this. GP 11.4 to 12.2. Okay, a little bit of a gap. Zetas 296 to 348. We're behind on the Omicrons, 38 to 44. 3 GLs behind, to be expected. To be honest, I don't think I've seen someone with less GLs for a while. Ralix 188 to 204. Let's go down to the R9s, 5 to 18. 15 to 20 on the 8s. Head on the 7s, 84 to 68. And behind on the 5s, 59 to 65. If anyone ever wonders, by the way, I do say all these out loud just in case someone's not watching, they're listening. That way, you know, you're actually keeping up. You never know. I don't know what you guys are doing. Sometimes I'm probably glad I don't know what you're doing. 25 plus. We've got 57 on our side to their 29. 20 plus is 217 to 142. 15 plus is 378 to 345. Okay. And Datacrons were about on par, so that's fine. Not sure about that. I suppose it can work. Same with that. I'm just not sure I've seen that in a while. All health modding on JML's a choice. Speed mods on C is a choice. I'm not sure I rate this guy's modding, if I'm being honest. They've got Jocasta new at Ralix 7. That's Maul into, yeah. Three Zetas. Yeah, I don't feel like there's anything crazy there. Anything to be really worried about. And they haven't attached yet. The one thing Lightspeed bundles would cause is bad mods. Impossible to keep up with mods buying Lightspeed bundles. I do agree. I mean, even though I feel like I've kept up reasonably well on my main, I feel like I've had to sacrifice mods on teams I did like. Like, I had real good mods on my Bounty Hunters, on my Rebel Fighters. And it got to the point where I was like, I honestly can't keep these here because it would mean that I've got a really bad C or a really bad JMK. And those are the things that kind of upset me. You know, I had like a really fast Cara Dune. And in reality, fine. I don't use Cara now. It's a waste having a 345 or 350, whatever Cara Dune I had, when in reality she's not even making defense anymore, let alone being used on offense. But by the time I used it, it was a shame because, you know, she was fast. She caught people out, I think, so it was good. Just trying to make sure I've not missed anything out. Gafster, you're on the sofa watching today's footy. You're watching, listening to me. Cool. And watching your GAC opponent slice through my defense. Oh, your GAC opponent slice through your defense like butter. Let's hope that there's some jam in the way for him. I would actually say Lightspeed bundles are probably the best thing in the game besides the episode pass. Just to fill in for Ada, who probably didn't feel comfortable answering that. Ada, if I'm right, doesn't play Swoggo as much now. Kinda just here for me without being self-centered. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm that's one of the reasons I'm sad I haven't got the episode pass lately. Those Kairos, Omicrons, they would be so nice to have. And yeah, I do agree about that. I feel like if you've got the most important character in your team clocked right, then that's the main thing, isn't it? And Nicholas, General Kenobi to you, how you doing? Alright, let's start placing some teams on this thing because I'm going to be here till 6 o'clock if I'm not. Ahsoka. You know, I've got a silly thought here, let me just check it. 965 followers on Twitch. I bring that up because I keep mentioning it to my mum. When I hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, I'm going to do some form of stream where she is involved in it. Because, for those of you new to the channel, she's the other half of JJ's. She's the one who set me up and she's the one who allows me to keep going because, you know, my full-time job is a carer. You know, and I would like to bring her into this side even for a one-off just to sort of say thank you. So yeah, it'd be fun to get it done. And it just feels like 1,000 is the right time. But you always do something for a 1,000, really. Oh. Someone didn't know what they were doing. Jagadi, thank you for the follow. Hello there. That sounded way more posh than I've ever done it. I think I went from Ewan McGregor to Hugh Grant. Yeah, either they didn't read the DC or they were thinking, I'll try my own thing with it. Nice little flex there, Gavster. All enemies inflict with target lock. So yeah, it still allows them that. Bits of the game Beskar armor and shield assist when... shield call and assist on a basic. So it's not like it's terrible on defense, but... yeah, you lose a lot. Let's say that. You know, I'm trying to word this right. You lose a lot as in this. But unless I'm mistaken, all of this still applies. It's where he didn't effectively use the Crom, but he didn't destroy it either. Like, none of this says it has to be 2. And none of that says it has to be 2, just that bit at the bottom. And granted, that's probably the most important bit, but, you know, it can still do something, I imagine. Well, this is the thing, it's still working at level 15. Because this bit here is active. It's just this bottom bit that isn't. I can imagine if we go to R9, it's definitely a moment of satisfaction. I've got Boba on my R8 list for platoons for when we start working on them, and yeah, it's going to be a shame when this Cron's gone and when I haven't got it. Yeah, 14.5, I'll give you that. Still, 14.5 out of 15, that's not bad considering, you know, destroyed was the word used. Alright, yeah, I will agree that the basics probably won't be used as much, so yeah, that'll benefit us. Again, I'm not saying I'd do it, I'm not saying it's great, but it's one of those where it's not like he's as bad as he normally is, you know what I mean? He's going to get the buffs, or most of the buffs he does. A really bad pack, I would assume, Ada. Alright, that's nice and clear. We can do Slacker on Ahsoka. On me. We can do Seer on Rey. Freya. Dapper Bob can do Balin, can't he? Or am I imagining that? Okay, I'm pretty sure we can do the Great Mothers. But I've got Darth Revan for that, so why do it? Oh, is it one of those? 8k crystals. I'd still say it's not great because even if you got 330 of a character you wanted, you've still got to gear them. So for me, it's not worth it. Maybe Raver there, and then Bane on Raver. Let's have a look at the Jabba. Ooh, okay, we've got Chance with Night Sisters. I mean, you would assume... Let me just read this again. Gain Grit. Gain Bounty on Resolve. So they can gain debuffs and they can't... Not that they instantly cleanse them. So Sidious should be able to do that, shouldn't he? And then Qui-Gon... I'll give Wampa another go. Wampa actually surprised me last time. Datacrons, yeah, that's a focused Datacron. You get it from the episode store. Or the, you know, like shipments and all them kind of things. Alright, I think we have a plan. All good plans prone to fail, but let's hope that's not the case. Let's start with this. I mean, I've got no idea if it works or not, but let's give it a go. Also, just because Osprey brought it up earlier, my modding is terrible on Sidious on both accounts. Health, he's got a ton of potency, so that should convert to health if I remember right. Yep, he gains max health equal to his potency percentage, so he should gain a fair chunk of max health. So hopefully that will stands in good stead. Ooh, okay, that was a little bit tastier than I wanted. Nasty up isn't fun. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Okay, not liking that. Oh, okay, down. Oh, Hal. No, thank you. Okay, we're not preloading it like that, although that would have been fun to see what happens. What we got spare? Have I got my Nescron still? I do have Nest. Maybe do Beskar? Yeah. Bulbacron better than Sigcron. Although, granted, as said before, my Sid is not great. Might be that I do need to up his modding a bit. Just to clarify, T-Max, I don't know if you're talking to Ada or to me there about what it says on the right-hand side. Just in case you were talking to me. Ooh, okay. Ouch. Alright, so Bulbacron's better than Nescron. These are two very early drops that I didn't want to make. I'm assuming there was a little joke in there. I'm thinking I might try Finfinzori. I'll say with that, or I've got to go heavier. Have I actually got to overkill this? I mean, I'm not entirely sure what could overkill it. I don't want you to see Malikos. I'll put Sia Malkos there anyway. I mean, that 100% speed is lethal. Because I'm looking and thinking, could I maybe get away with Gidme? Gas is on defense. Yeah, exactly. This feels just annoying more than anything. Yeah, I used to have a stream, Gav. I just find it good for visualizing what I'm going to do. You know, it's too much for me to store it all up here, so just being able to put it on screen somehow, it's really nice. Yeah, I've got to give Bit Dynasty a shout out. He's done a great job with it, and he keeps touching it up with updates. And I will say, I have to agree, I can understand where this is getting holds. I mean, it's only Bulba that's getting the 100% speed, so you'd think we could get a turn and go from there, but let's try that. Oh, it's max health damage. Damn it. Forgot about that bit. That was an absolute waste of a team. I am going to have to overkill it. I am absolutely cheesed off at this. I think I'm going to have to use Ufus without Starkiller. Just so I've got a permakill and Taran. Malgus wouldn't do it. At least without using Malik. And I need Malik for Take Down the Great Mothers. And plus I'm going to use Malgus on Rax. Like I say, Gas is on defense. I mean, this lowers the viability of winning against Ray, but we still have a chance there. He's on defense. Enoch's not built here. I mean, this got it, but that was massive overkill. Yeah, I'm actually completely decrying that Kron is dead. That is not dead. It might not be how you want to use it, but if someone wants to use it like that, it will cause trouble. Right. Night Sisters. It's one of those where if you haven't got the right thing for it, it will cause trouble. Alright. Get the plague started. Good. Don't think they went for the right one there. I'm not liking this, so I'm actually going to do this temporarily. I know it's not the right way to do it, but I wasn't liking the fact that Merrin was looking so weak. I need him now to go for Talzin. That's it. Keep going for Talzin. She doesn't mind. That's it. That's it. That's it. We're in auto basic. That just felt like a little mini game of managing Merrin. I actually don't mind this because Sarge ramps up. If she stays alive, anyway. If she doesn't, then Merrin carries anyway. Well, yeah, Bobo really annoyed me there. I'd like to have Gas on offense, but a lot of the time it doesn't feel like I've got things that I would prefer to put on defense. You know, while he solves certain problems, he also creates problems in terms of banners. So you kind of have, if you bring him on offense, you've got to know what you want to use him on. I couldn't say with 100% certainty they're modded perfectly. But I have got them at R7 and I've got as much tenacity as I can throw on Merrin, so I'm hoping that that's enough. This DI could be awkward though because obviously Jabba's not going full. I'm thinking I may need to revive them. There we go. I mean, if Jabba takes a turn and gets a Sarge out, that's not the worst thing. I think we could still get back on it, T-Max. It's all about if Jabba can... There we go. We're on it. The damage immunity just caused a little bit of a stall. Yeah, that's exactly where I am, Gav. I mean... I'm not saying I don't understand the merit of having him on offense. I mean, if Gar ISC can counter it, it's a bad banner drop, but you think someone's had to still beat it. Whereas, like I say, 54, you're guaranteeing 3-drop banners on offense. Now, if they bring out a GAC Omicron for one of the clones or gas where suddenly you get banner recovery in GAC, I'm all for it, but unless you've got a specific counter in mind that you know, right, I'm going to use this, I don't really see the point in moving him. Like, Dadbod's just a wild one. It's like, yeah, you're not expecting to see that. What's everyone farming these days? I mean, I'll open the floor up there because I feel like I talked about that enough earlier. New Bad Batch is certainly a safe shout out. Got to get that Omega. Rika. Itchy. Hello. Alright. You know, I've said it before, I'm glad you're not a Greyhound because I wouldn't like you jumping up here when you want to fuss. Just blocking the turn order here. That's a lot of turns they're taking. Just to put that out there. Do we isolate quad, mate? Someone tells me we isolate quad, mate. My turn order got a bit screwed over there because essentially Nihilus hadn't dropped below the health threshold to actually trigger Annihilate. Alright, Pow gone. Queenie gone. We're fine. That was just messier than normal. The new Bad Batch team are a little bit odd. I mean, but their whole shtick seems to be that you benefit from targeting the same enemy multiple times. So, like, say with that team, you benefit from hitting the Handmaiden multiple times and then hitting Queen Amidala multiple times. You're not bouncing between targets. But other than that, I don't really know much about them. Yeah, I've had that happen once or twice. I mean, I'm glad it didn't happen this time, obviously, but I wouldn't say it's like 100%, it's just maybe 80. Alright, that's a revive. Good to know. Let's put a heal up over here. Death mark, thank you. We do love a death mark. Boink. Oh, you spoil sport. I say I like a death mark, and then they go, right, let's put some damage immunity in there. It's like they know what we find fun, and they go, no, we can't let you have that. By all accounts, it does count as some good stuff. I'm pretty sure I heard it count as Jabba. That might have been before the Jabbercron, to be fair, but, you know, it's good for universal future use. I think I heard about Queen Amidala as well. So I think it is doing good things. It's just... It was a dead-on-arrival team. No one wanted it the way they delivered it. Like, if they'd have integrated it so that they could use it with the former Bad Batch units, I think people would have been more hyped. But because they made it such a rigid team, people are like... Ugh. And it's a shame, because I do think it's doing good stuff. It's just none of it's sexy. It's like the prospect of someone selling cleaning your teeth to you. You know, it's good. You know, you should clean your teeth, but no one is going to buy cleaning your teeth. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not like a sexy thing. I've probably made myself sound absolutely minging there by using that as an example. But it was the first thing I could come up with that people might, you know, not like. Maybe flossing would have been more appropriate. Yeah, that's the bottom line into it. We need him for the raid, so we gotta do it. That is true. I saw Eggnods. He was putting out a conquest guide for the upcoming conquest, and I saw he listed it as what he's going to be doing. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, I do like the idea of just mixing and matching them a little bit. I mean, it's obviously not as effective as using our own team, but, you know, if you need to get that target practice feat done, at least it's an option. Oh, vacuuming would have been... I'll tell you what, that would have just been... I don't know how to phrase it. It would have just hit that note of, like... misogynist sexism. Like, oh, hey, darling, I've got your vacuum for your birthday. You look so sexy when you're doing the vacuuming. Oh, that would be a very awkward clip. Right. What am I doing here? Not with Luthen. Luthen says no to Wampa. I'm right. Healing immunity there. And because Luthen brings in the worthless man straight away, there's days on the field. Give Luthen his due, he's really made Mon Mothma a threat again. Get your point. Not guaranteed days. But I think that kind of sums it up. 13% win rate. I kind of like that. I think we can afford to use C. C's not doing much else. Yeah, Saw is definitely the one that he's palling up with best. I mean, it's that thing of, I really wish it wasn't. I didn't use Finn, did I? I backed out of it. Yeah. Does anyone know what Finn's story is beating on offense? Notably, any of these three. We could try and use JML on that, but it feels a bit overkill. Okay, well the outbreak's over, so let's start on the top wall. Needs to be added as well. My opponent only has to avoid dropping 4 times on one team like I did to beat me, so not looking great for a win, which wouldn't be nice for me because that'd mean back-to-back-to-back losses. But let's see if we can pull this out the hat. You know, Crimson could really do with a win. I'm not really doing good for crystals right now. Poke Sabine. Oh, alright, we don't poke Sabine. Alright, we'll swipe Ezra. And we'll do that move on Sabine. And we might as well finish off there. Kylo will go again. That's fine. I was pausing because I was like, do we get the kill or not? With his ult, you should expect the kill, but it was that lingering doubt of, will he? You and your GSC opponent leave have both cleared the grounds. You've got 1556, they've got 1630. Bit of a gap there. You put all your meta fleets on defense. Ooh, yes, I think they will. Lucky there. I mean, it's a tricky one, isn't it? You know, if you go heavy defense, then obviously you're stuck on offense, aren't you? So you're really reliant then on your characters doing a job for you. It is rough. The gamble you make, but I imagine it can pay off a lot if people aren't comfortable with fleet. I'm wondering if I go for that over that. Because the Edge 88 Chron has got decent stats. Just a question of offense versus armor pen, I guess, in the end. Yeah, I mean, I respect it. I think it's just a case of when it works well. When it doesn't, it can feel a bit, yeah, a bit lame. Yeah, exactly. You know, you're presenting a challenge to yourself as well, aren't you? In a way, I imagine it's kind of boring just constantly having all the tools at your disposal. Me personally, I enjoy taking the Leviathan against Executor purely because I don't like that team. But yeah, I can't blame anyone going the other way. I did see Mol. I felt for you there. I mean, I agreed with what you said as well. It would be nice if CG could implement some form of alternate way of deciding tiebreaks. It feels overdue. Ooh, okay. I mean, he's going to keep popping up like a jack-in-the-box, but let's deal with it. Ooh, do I ult? I don't. We just hold the line a minute. Yes! Get. I must admit, I've always enjoyed looking at your Phoenix, Ada. A bit like I was saying earlier about people, like a guildmate to Darth Maul R9, I enjoy the idea of you just building your Phoenix up because why not? And then Rex comes out and it's like... Alright, Bane time. Who do we put with Bane? Red Trooper? Kinda wish I could give my sass a little bit extra, but it doesn't really benefit Bane. Alright, duck him. Boink him. Base it. And now it's just giving Raver a bit of love. Sweet. Qui-Gon, now I did not know until last round that Wampa had legs in this fight. So that was a pleasant surprise. Alright, we got through. 57. They could still do some good things. I mean, Phoenix have never been great in 3v3, but I bet in 5s they still do good. I was curious if Rex had got his an Omicron. Yeah, it's just one Omicron, isn't it? I was waiting for the armor shred to appear. Okay, one down. Where are you eating? That'll do. That'll do. I mean, before Rex, Phoenix weren't great. It has to be said. And even now, they're not like top tier, but they, you know, they're capable of punching up a little bit. I mean, they have got a Datacron now, so probably better than we think. It's just that I have not seen it. I mean, if anyone can tell me what the Phoenix Datacron is doing, I will gladly listen. Alright, 56. I do like to see walls fall down. Alright, next up we've got Misabos Nationana, Genogrievous, Momothma, Huskins, and Finn. Let's work away from the bottom. Man, oh man, oh man. I mean, I know we're not doing damage here, but that was just beautiful. I mean, poor Fennec, she took some hits then when she didn't need to. Alright, we might as well throw JML at this. It feels overkill, but why not? That should be okay. Okay, I did forget it was gear 12 when I did that, sorry. I did just get a little bit overexcited. I was like, wow, I'm literally nuking them. Oh, I've just realised no warrior. Right, that makes things a little bit easier. There we go. Yeah, because your first order were pretty pumped by the end, weren't they? can't really link, can I? No, I can't link because of Bleeding Luthen. He's a little get, isn't he? I love this song, by the way. Yeah, this definitely doesn't feel clean, but my hope is I can get a link on Luthen, i.e. in between the gaps, but we'll see. Getting a shock on the trooper is helpful, and it really helps that we got a permakill on Kyle. I'm almost tempted to throw that down now. No, I don't think it's worth the risk, really. I think it's just worth whittling him down. There we go, because he comes straight back. My thoughts were, if I'm going to try and do it, I might as well do it like now. Oh, wow, we got Mon. Cool. A bit weird, but we got through. Alright, time for the rad. Oh, make sure we're taking a tank. You know, this a light side tank revive Crom. I would love it if it could revive Jyn. It'd be so bloody fitting. I know it's only recently they've had the Crom, but can you imagine if they did something where it was like, when Jyn Erso dies, she revives? Man, that'd be so annoying. That's it, keep going for her. You keep doing the Lord's work, Jyn. Don't know who this Lord is I've just come out with, but yeah. Let's do that. Let's just pass that there. And okay, that is a touch awkward. I thought we'd already got him down once, so let's just wait, I guess. That'll do. $56, not bad. And last up, Gungans. It's a Gungan style. Ooh, make sure I click them. That'd be helpful. Alright. Let's just go straight for Jaja. Jaja Gabor. Yeah, the shield. Shield down. Resistance is futile. Right, now that's the situation we don't like. 55, not too bad. You know, that's why that Boba Fett team was so annoying. I haven't dropped a single battle elsewhere. Maybe banners, you know, maybe some unclean battles, but that one team really nobbled me. Okay. Rebel Yell time. It is where I would love to play some copyright music on stream, by the way, because I'd be playing Rebel Yell by Billy Idol quite easily at this point. Hello, sweet. How you doing? Ugh. All right. Basic pasta profundity. The Outrider. That's profundity. Flyby. Basic. Special. Let's smack that. Looks like my fleet does not fancy assisting today. Alright, pull this in. Get some speed up. Or tenacity up, speed down, sorry. I knew speed was in it. AoE should get us a few hits. Basic. Flyby again takes us to 65% down. We're miles out so far. Gonna have to base it. It's another 10% plus whatever we can get from the actual basic. 10 thermals on Outrider. I'm not a fan of that. Come on, get some hits. Okay. Feeling better now. After my last attempt at doing this battle resulted in failure, that is a much needed boost. Let's do that. Yeah, Razor Crest is a very solid ship in its own right, but also a very key component to the Executor fleet. So if you ever farm an Executor, you're going to be good there, sweet. Okay. 70... 69. Okay. We all like 69s. Let's do this. Relic 5 Dengar, so a little less stress. Okay, so we're bringing this to stun Razor Crest and then just take out Punishing One. What? I'm just trying to remember what does suspense do. Can't gain buffs. Gaining bonus gaining bonus turn meter recovery protection or gaining protection will inflict defense down for 2 turns. If it's dispelled, increase cooldowns by 1, which can't be resisted. If suspense expires and is not dispelled, the old game we have returned. Right, okay. Basic. I'm snoozing that at break. It's not going to be needed. Okay, basic there. Basic's fine. Boba Fett Relicates isn't easy, that's for sure. Especially for a new player. It won't take years, but it will take a bit of time. Any of these farms like Exacta, they'll be difficult because of relics. They're not the easiest thing to do straight out the gate as a new player. Okay, so that's what, 72? Yeah. And then Canobster. Hands on heart, I'm not comfortable with this, but I'm guessing Empire? I've not actually done Chimera versus Negotiator pretty much since like the whole Chimera dynamic changed. So I really could be barking up the wrong tree here. I mean, we've got Anakin. Much as I don't want to drop, if I did drop, it's not like... it's a clean-up. I think I made the mistake not bringing in Defender, but I always seem to remember that TIE Interceptor was good against Anakin, so I probably mixed my counters up. I probably needed to do Bomber rather than Scythe. I think Mal can clean up. I did hear that you've been invited into a guild, Lee. Yeah, that's the Termits, wasn't it? No, the name of it is Desert Termits. How this under messy as far as battles go. Second GAC's just wrapping up. We did drop on this with Empire, so we're cleaning up. In total, we only dropped on this and Dad Bob Bulba, but could have been worse. Honestly, I think I just picked the wrong comp to start. Yeah, that used to be the way you did it. If I remember right, it used to be Vader, Bomber, and TIE Fighter, and you reinforced with Interceptor, and you didn't need anything else after that. But yeah, I think considering I started with Scythe, I'd have been better bringing in Defender. But yeah, just a wrong team selection and wrong strategy using it. But yeah, this is the one where I feel like we lose it, that it's lost here. I mean, that was chewing with my food too long. I really should have gone a bit heavier. That one was just unfortunate. Yeah, that's what I did. I did bring in Interceptor and try and get rid of Annie, but by that point I'd lost a few too many. Yeah, they did Swarm as well, that was the other thing. I mean, 2001, it's not terrible banners, but if they're able to clear me efficiently, we're in trouble. I mean, I've got three GLs down. Hopefully it's enough to make them think. Alright, we're back over 1k crystals. That's the bit I'm excited for. We're going to do variety next week. And say, I say variety, the plan is to finish Clone Commando. So, I say finish. That's optimistic. Let me just check my playtime. Assuming Steam's being cooperative. Here we go, I'm 6.6 hours in. And we just finished the second mission, so probably still a way to go. Let's just have a look at it, just for... Here we go, main story 9 hours. It's like a idea of how many chapters there are or anything like that. I mean, you would think that it would be almost done. I mean, if it's 10 hours and I'm 6.6, but I would be surprised at that because we only have done 2 levels. We've done Geonosis and then whatever that second mission was. I can't remember the location, but it was on board a spaceship. So I would be amazed if that was it because I'm sure there's meant to be a couple of more missions. Like, I think I heard the last one ends on Kashyyyk. So, I get the feeling there's quite a few before Kashyyyk, so I'm thinking it just took me time to get there. So, I'm intrigued. I think we've got more to do, but Thursday, Saturday, Monday next time, we'll do this. Not sure what we do after that, though, to be honest. Oh, and don't forget, it did take me about an hour on the first session last time to get the game running. So, knock an hour off for that as well. I need more of these things. This is one of my issues with legacy games, or older games, whatever you want to call them. I don't know how long they are. Like, I was doing Resident Evil on my Let's Play channel, and it's not that I wasn't enjoying it, but I had this nagging feeling in my head, how much more is there? And when you don't know how much more there is, it's like you don't know if you're sort of in a climax or if it's just another little bump. The first one. But yeah, when you've never played it, you've got no idea. It is where modern games do handhold a bit, like they give you like indicators like, oh, you're X percentage away through the game, you know. No, not as far as I gather. I mean, I've got whatever this is on my PC. I'm trying to see if I've got the thumbnail, what you call it, the desktop shortcut for it. I don't think I do. Here we go. Resident Evil. I last played it October 19th, 2023. So yeah, a bit while ago now. I would like to get back to it, just for the simple fact, you know, I said I was going to play it through, so I would like to get it done. Anyway, we got 14 of you here, so I've got 14 of you on Twitch, I should say. So I would like to raid you off. Let's see where you can go. Oh, Wolfie's on. I haven't seen Wolfie in a bit. Let's go there. Yeah, so before then, quick thank yous to Huts Hangout for the raid, Party of 14. Thank you very much. And RJ, thank you for the raid, Party of 5. Okay. Oh, we had a follow from Lady Geek TWD and Jagadi. So thank you. Alright, let's get the raid launched. And you kind of got the hint of what's going on. Monday, it's Hell Day in Swaggo, so I'm going to just knuckle down, get that done, and then hopefully have an early night. Because I hate Hell Day. And then Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Republic Commando. We're going to get it done, hopefully. Until then, folks, see you around. Bye for now.